Hello and welcome to Shite Talk, an Irish history podcast. My name's Kevin Arney, and this week Jason wrote up an episode about two young men from Darndale, and we had on a very special guest, Des Bishop, returned for the second episode. This one a bit lighter than the last one, and also this one has video, which we'll be posting up on Instagram and YouTube, and the links for all that stuff will be in the description of this episode, along with a link to JL Designs, Joanne O'Herlihy Designs. You might have noticed our new logo. That was all Joanne's doing, and we're delighted with it. It looks class. It only took us 4 years to get a real logo, but it was worth it, I think. So there's a link for Joanne's page if you want to check out some of her other designs or hire her to make stuff for you, because she does good work. And then the last thing to check out in the links is tickets for our live show in the Wild Duck on the 25th of May, which is in 25 days, just later on this month. We'll be doing another live show there, and you should come and see what it's all about. Or if you've been before, come back and enjoy yourself. You deserve a night out. And that night out should be the 25th of May in the Wild Duck in Dublin. And that's it. That's all the notes. We had a lot of fun doing this episode. You can check out the video for it online. Buy tickets. Joanne does a great job with design work. And here's the intro. Good luck.
Gather around now, you're in for a story. Old tales of lore, all in search of a glory. The history and mystery of lads, lasses and all. Discoveries and voyages, the rise and the fall. Follow me now as we go back in time. Retrace the steps of Irish heritage to find. Joseph from Carlo and Kevin from Dawn. Guide you through the ways of Shite.
No, it's nice. But it's fancy. It's like, I don't know. It's like, I like the simplicity of Rialto.
Yeah, here's got a nice, rough, people be shouting at you in the streets.
Exactly.
You miss that.
Also,
it gives you content.
When you do our job,
it's good to have it.
this is so handy to
That's
get out of the
true.
city, bro.
Yeah.
Like
But
you just whip, you're on the M50 in a minute.
Getting into town as well, because it's 10 minutes on the bus, and
That's
the bus
true.
route runs all night long, 24 hours. So.
Yeah. It's actually, so whenever we finish up with the club, it's 12 o'clock, get the late night bus back here, back in 10 minutes.
See, there you go.
It's dead
Are you
easy.
recording this?
Yeah, it's all there.
This is gold.
This is gold. This is where to live if you want to be a comedian.
But there is, that's it. Like, Rialto is like the home of most Dublin comedians.
Nowadays, bro, there was no... listen, I've lived in Rialto pretty much full time, except for a 2-year period since 1997. So, 98, really. 97, I went back to college. But there was nobody here for most of that.
Yeah. I don't want to
It's only
dox
recent.
everybody, but Colin McGlinchey, Colin O'Regan, Richie Bree, Shane Clifford, they all live here now.
Dublin 8, yeah.
Podge Williams.
Colin O'Regan was
Clifford,
one of the first, but he's nearer to here, actually.
Yes.
He's not the Rialto guy. But Dublin 8 for sure.
Yeah, we're just going to post everyone's address on the
Yes.
put their air codes up.
Just make sure, is the red light on that?
It is.
it is,
Perfect, yeah.
All right, shake and bake. Let's go.
Yeah, Jason deleted some videos the other day, so he's paranoid now.
Yeah, I was flustered, and we were doing a bunch of recordings. We were trying to get a back catalogue of 8 to 10, so we can finally edit them instead of just chasing our tail, doing one constantly. And then we were about to record, and I couldn't find my extra SD cards. And I thought I'd already logged all the footage, and I deleted the Fintan O'Toole video. We still have the audio and the Zoom video, but I had one of us. On the actual cameras.
You might as well use the Zoom anyway, because
Yeah.
he's on Zoom.
He's
so
on the Zoom.
That's
Yeah.
actually not so bad.
It's
It could have
not
been worse.
Absolutely.
No, yeah, that's what he was telling me at the time.
The lowest footage is just us looking at a laptop going, oh, yeah.
I
Oh, that's
deleted
right,
a ton of fucking shit off my phone because for some reason Google suddenly became my photo thing. I was like, what?
Yeah.
And then, so when I went to change it, so then Google was telling me I ran out of space, So I
Yeah.
deleted a load of photos, thinking I was deleting them off Google Photo.
Oh, you delete. Oh.
It turns out you're deleting them off both. It's a thing. I looked it up, but I only found out too late.
I ended up, I don't know it must be an old company I was working for, a Dropbox account that I was still logged into. And the other day I was just I don't know what this is. I'm going to delete it all. And as soon as I hit delete, it was that's been wiped from the Dropbox for the entire company for everyone.
No.
Yeah, I was all right, well, I don't work there anymore. Hopefully they can't trace it back to me, but that's just...
Wow.
Yeah.
Because you were in charge of it?
No, I wasn't even in charge. I don't know how I was logged into it. It must have just been like an email thing from years
so
ago.
funny.
And it's like, it's just all there.
Not your problem.
No.
Yeah, not my problem.
But they look at the IP address. They don't even need to like narrow it down to a neighborhood. They'd be like, Ireland. Well, it's obviously that guy.
Yeah. Also, there's a possibility that it's like my girlfriend's and she's logged into something. And that's just...
You don't even know who's you've
I have
deleted.
no idea what it is.
Someone out there is going to be very annoyed.
Look, the files can't be that important. Tax 98 to 2022. What's the... Who needs that? It's 2023 now.
Yeah.
Do not show government these files.
Yeah.
Those ones are deleted.
Or what? So you've written up a story.
I've wrote up a story, but I suppose we started out. Welcome, Des Bishop.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, hey, it's great to be here.
Yes.
This is the second time we've recorded in Dublin 8, but this time it's in your
That's
gaff.
true, yeah.
We didn't have video the last time.
Yeah, you guys have gotten very fancy.
I know. I often wonder if people are walking past the window and they look in, does it look like we're shooting low-grade porn?
Yeah, it's like an OnlyFans.
It is. It's just a mattress and you can't see the
I'm pretty
mattress
sure
over it.
down here in Dublin 8, this wouldn't be the only OnlyFans account.
No, probably not. If you take a look out through all the windows, everyone's
That's
doing this.
working down here.
Yeah.
Well,
Listen, if I was younger and fit, man, I think I'd do an OnlyFans. You know, there's like...
Well, it's easy
you
for
know
the
the
guy.
comedian Harry Jowsey? You know this guy?
No.
Aussie guy.
Yeah.
He's like big on TikTok, but he also has an OnlyFans. And he's making like millions.
But it's easy for the guy because it's all just point of view for you.
Yeah.
That, I think you're never gonna
I've never checked his...
Oh, sure.
I've never checked, so I don't know how much POV he's doing.
Well, I know. We were talking. Yeah, as a barman, we know that during lockdown, just started OnlyFans. Just started doing pull-ups every day because it was lockdown. Made like 10 grand.
pulling what?
Well, pulling up and down. You know, we was giving it up. We were just doing like pull-ups
On his OnlyFans.
on his OnlyFans. Yeah, he was in good shape.
And he was getting subscribers.
Big money.
Amazing.
Yeah. Now I don't know if there's much of a market for me, but if you can do it,
I
have
bet
at it, you know.
I bet you there's a market for everything. Like
That
this,
is true.
you know?
That's the wonders of the 21st century.
Intellectual, non-gym goer.
Yeah.
No one's. It's like
That's a category.
I bet there's a market for everything, and no one's willing to throw out the ones just because it makes you look like you're into it.
Yeah.
You guys are history guy. I bet you there's like a whole crowd of like Provo loving people that have fetishes, or you could do shit like in front of like with a balaclava on.
That's what AI porn is for.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly. You can key that in and see what comes up.
Once that
I
comes up,
can't see. Listen, maybe you guys can help me.
Yeah.
Because people are never stop talking about AI and Chat GPT.
Yeah.
And I still have not been able to figure out like what is so dangerous about it.
It'll do it all. That's just what people keep saying. I don't know.
They keep saying, but every
Yeah,
time
yeah.
I try to do anything, it's like this is useless.
Yeah.
I assume you have to be intelligent enough to code it and make it work.
Yeah.
and
I think
then
that's
it's a problem.
the thing you do. So you can talk to it like a layperson, and if you want a small program to do something, you can just talk to it, and it'll do a pretty good rough draft. So basically, the new version is coming out. You could say like, I want to organize my emails like this and do a bit of that, and it'll give you the program, which means a lot of developers are out of work. And apparently, it's now passed. It's like done the Stanford exam.
Oh, really?
For medicine, it can do the Amazon exams for like pretty high level programming stuff. So all
Can't
those
write jokes,
jobs-
though.
It can't write jokes. That's
It
actually
can.
the one thing it can't
I've
do.
seen that. One of my friends
Yes.
sent me. I'm from Carlow, and they'd sent me a Tommy Tiernan style rip on Carlow, and it was just giving out about parking spaces. So I don't think that's what
Yeah,
Tommy
hasn't
would
been
do.
able to do.
Yeah,
That's a Tommy Nicholson thing.
yeah.
You find out how many of your listeners got that reference.
Yeah, that's a niche.
Do you know what's so funny?
Yeah,
Because I do jokes about how like all the phone numbers from before 1996 are like locked in my brain.
yeah.
And if you mention the name of somebody whose phone number is locked in my brain, it's the first thing I'll think about. And all
Yeah.
I'm thinking about right now is his number.
Is
I'm
Tommy's
not going to
number.
say it out loud, but I promise you it's correct.
I wonder if you rang that number though. Like, is it just
no,
in
it's
an attic
his.
in
I
Navan?
guarantee you he'd answer the phone.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He's
Tommy
a great.
Nicholson, not Tommy Tiernan.
No,
No, yeah.
Nicholson.
Yeah.
He supported you a few times back.
Yeah, but
for the
he,
show,
you know,
yeah.
when I ran the international, so all those guys.
Oh, yeah.
I just knew all those numbers because
Yeah,
like
yeah.
even because that's a cell, that is a cell number.
Yeah.
But like those early cell phones didn't have a ton of storage, and like it wasn't even that convenient to have numbers stored on your phone because you would
Yeah,
have to go
yeah.
into like go into like phone book and then click down.
Yeah.
It was like it wasn't that handy. So I know all those numbers. It's
yeah.
like Ian Coppinger, Joe Rooney, Deirdre O'Kane. Do you know what's funny? I give Deirdre O'Kane her old number. And she's like, wow, that is my old number. That number's dead, but it's still in my
but
brain.
It's still in your brain. That's the anytime I break my smartphone, I go back to like I have a brick phone that I rely on. and it can't hold. I think you can hold like 100 texts and maybe 20 numbers.
Yeah. And then you have to start deleting text.
You got to start deleting text, so like it is easy just to remember the numbers.
Yeah, I know all those numbers. But anyway, Tommy's like immediately pops into my head.
Yeah.
What's more important, like one photo or your entire contact list?
One photo.
There you go.
Of me naked with a book, a history book. It's going to make me millions.
A picture is worth 1,000 words. That's why.
There you go.
But
You've got 1,000 words written here.
yeah, it's a short story.
Yeah.
We said we went too dark on the last. Not dark, but very serious.
It was fun, but it was a lot of like, and then we invented terrorism. And then this man got blown up.
It was pretty heavy.
It was.
But this one should be light.
Yeah.
But it's the 25th anniversary of the Good Friday Agreement. You did that already?
Yeah, we talked about it. Yesterday.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, but
No, it's fine. I'm not trying to change it.
oh no, well, had you
It's a momentous occasion with the American president over here, and you're hitting me with a fucking
That's
two
true.
guys from Darndale.
Well, we
Yeah,
said
yeah.
we said we'd do a little bit on Biden as well.
Yeah, this involves the Secret Service, which we so he's in. I think he's in Dundalk today, Biden, in my hometown.
Oh, right.
Yeah, which is, I mean, the Secret Service must not like that. Like, could you not just go anywhere else down the country? Don't go to the terrorist hotspot of the 1990s.
Yeah, he's there to talk to all the
old heads.
green diesel guys.
Yeah, I love that.
He's going to Cox's domain. How good am I with the? Listen, this is why.
That's great.
This is how I made my money in this industry.
You've got phone numbers and shit neighborhoods in your head.
I got all. Hey, give me a town. I'll tell you the hot spot to drop to get an easy laugh during your initial trying to ingratiate yourself to the audience.
Nice. Yeah, you look like you're having a more, but you're really from Cox's.
Cox domain. But actually, I only know that because I filmed the work experience up there. I actually don't know all the bad neighborhoods, but Cox's domain is always a.
It was one of the top 10. I think TV3 did an expose back in like the early 2000s of the worst neighborhoods in Ireland.
Oh yeah, Dundalk was in it.
Oh yeah.
And they did
everyone was very proud in school the next day.
They did one on Darndale as well.
Did they?
They made a whole a full show, like multiple episodes just on Darndale. Like, there's probably other places as well.
It's
I just love when Biden came over. It's like 2 days beforehand. You could just see guards walking around doing absolutely nothing, and then people just go, "Oh, it's Biden." It's like they're just lazy. They're just there was 4 of them earlier on 2 days ago in Inchicore, just like standing around, just drinking tea. They're
getting
happy, ready for Biden.
I've never seen them more happy. They're just walking around with big smiles in groups of like 10, like looking at a guy lift a manhole cover and be like, "Oh, overtime." Yeah, it's the most guards I've ever seen, and it's not even that many.
I stayed out of town for all of it. I haven't seen any of the news either, but someone said, did he fall out of his car?
I don't know. I haven't been paying attention. I just woke up actually. I'm a little jet lagged.
Yeah, you're just back in the country.
So I'm not up on it.
Yeah, I don't think he's done. Yeah, I think he's fallen.
He fell. I was like, that's not fair to everyone to jump on that, because it's like, what? He without sin.
Yeah.
Like, what Irishman hasn't fallen out of a taxi?
That's true. Yeah.
It's just that he's coming onto multiple sort of like high profile falls.
Yeah, that's true.
And you can't. Listen, he's a very old man.
Yeah. Did Hillary Clinton's car get stuck coming out of the embassy? Who was that? Who am I thinking of?
I can't remember.
It was like a long limo coming out of the embassy, and like it just got stuck in the middle, so it was stuck in the gate.
Oh, that I can't remember that one.
I know she fell as well.
She did fall as well. It's probably what happens when you vote in, 80-year-olds.
Old men.
Yeah.
But we don't get as much news about him because it's not as like salacious. It's not as
Trumpy. Yeah.
It's not as salacious as.
But all the news about him is either he stumbled over his words, or just like the general state of America. It's never really like that Biden focused.
No.
But obviously the people that hate Biden will make it seem like he's the worst president of all time, even though he's just done nothing.
Yeah.
he's just there.
He pops up in the news here every once in a while when he'll be like at a dinner and he'll say, up the rat or something.
Basically, he's a little up the rat.
He is a little.
No, because he had that one time where somebody was like, we're with the BBC, and he's like, I'm Irish. Like I'm not talking to you.
Yeah.
it was like what?
Yeah, free the Guildford Five. Like he's, I guess he's raised on that sort of stuff. Maybe
he is. He's a romantic, nostalgic Irish American.
I saw the other day that someone said that he's to prove he's Irish. He just asked him about the Irish rugby team. That seemingly he knows.
Is that
like
right?
all about the Irish rugby team? I'm like, that is like 6 games a year. Like 6 or 7 games a year is all he needs to know.
And it's not exactly the most Irish thing.
No, especially if you're in the rugby, the opposite.
Bill Clinton.
Except that the Irish rugby team are exceptionally successful.
I think
you need to. Need to accept a little more the importance of the Irish rugby team.
I've been champion because I said that I was
You guys
doing...
are both very dismissive right there.
No, I was
They
doing
just
it-
won the Six Nations, beat England in the final. Come on.
I know.
Watched it all.
Yeah.
He doesn't really care too much, but he does love the Paddy because it always finishes on Paddy's Day or like
Yeah.
the day after
Yes.
Paddy's Day. So it's a great weekend for
Great
getting-
hangover.
Yeah.
No, I'm really invested in it, but I was giving a tour to some English people yesterday, and they were saying it is great, but it's also right after Ireland won the Six Nations and like are looking good for the Rugby World Cup later this year. France beat Ireland 1-0 in soccer. More people were excited about that.
Yeah.
Everyone
You think so?
in the streets,
Oh,
everyone was buzzing about that.
I
A
saw-
1-0 defeat.
Ronan Mullen from News Talk.
Yeah.
Kev went to school with him, but he put up a tweet asking, okay, the Grand Slam, or if Nathan Collins had scored the equaliser against France and just divided the nation.
Yeah.
Just
We're-
instantly.
Right.
We're great at rugby and we should celebrate it more, but at the end of the day, people would rather we do badly in the Euros than win the Rugby World Cup.
Yeah,
Interesting.
just
It doesn't
getting there.
make any sense.
Just getting there.
I guess, even though I grew up in humble working class beginnings in Queens, New York,
Yeah.
my Irish circles must be quite posh because definitely
Yeah.
Yeah.
they lean towards the rugby.
Well,
It
no
makes
one in
sense.
America
I did
cares
go
about
to,
the football.
I went to Blackrock College for 1 year. I may be poisoned.
Yeah. Those boys they're not.
I may be poisoned.
They're not 40-year-old men with beer guts getting really excited about Evan Ferguson. He's gonna do it.
He's
When
our new
Ireland were
Robbie
playing
Keane.
England, my fucking in-laws were over in the States, and they all love sports.
Yeah.
And I just had an AirPod in, and I had the phone up. I'm sitting in like literally a family gathering, like
Yeah.
listening. But eventually, her grandfather, both my parents are dead. She still has 2 grandparents, and her grandfather was like asking me a lot of questions. But like he's like a smart guy, so
Yeah.
he very quickly kind of understood it. So he got into it with me. So it was kind of cool. I did have to do a lot of explaining though. And it's tough to explain sometimes.
Yeah. Because
You know, I was like, so what happens now? Like when so now he's tackled. Like when it's like the rules of engagement, and it's hard to explain.
and they
It's
change it a
basically
lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
when
like
when somebody gets tackled, whoever comes up with the ball, you just start cheering.
Yeah.
But that's like if it's still on
yeah,
your
but it's like,
side.
he needs to release that. He needs to release that. And then why isn't this guy going over? It's like, well, you can't come over the top.
Yeah.
And it's just a lot of explaining.
There's a lot. It's basically just no matter what way you cut it, these men are going to kill each other if they run at each other, and then you just watch it in slow mo 10 times, and then decide whether it was good or bad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
if there was no ball on the field, it wouldn't make much of a difference.
Trying to explain like
No.
why the scrum was considered like a mistake on one side or the other, it's actually impossible.
I have no
It's
idea,
very
yeah.
subjective.
But
Anyway, we still need to talk about Darndale.
Yes,
Yeah,
right.
Well, I wanted to throw in one more or the president visiting Dundalk because this story came up again, and I don't know if it's true. But I'm going to choose to believe it. Bill Clinton, the Good Friday Agreement.
Yes.
So he was over for that. He visited Dundalk then, and that would have been right around the time of the Monica Lewinsky scandal.
All right.
And apparently, Mambo number 5 was out that summer. And apparently that was just blaring in Dundalk for ages. A little bit of Monica on my side. A little bit of...
Do you think this is an urban myth?
I think I believe it. I don't know. I've seen that story. I've heard that story a lot, and it's come up again now with Biden and Dundalk. I wouldn't put it past somebody to have accidentally done that.
That's Dundalk humour for you.
Yeah.
The heights of it.
So another story I heard, which is some people contacted me because they've kind of written a play about Bill Clinton's visit.
Oh, yeah.
25 years ago. Mm-hmm. And that apparently in Ballybunion, they made them cover a shop name called Monica's.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't know if this is true or not.
Yeah.
Well, Fintan O'Toole talks about it in his book about when he went over to up to Derry and to turn on the Christmas lights, that there was an opposition from the Union side or the Protestants, that they wanted, instead of Bill Clinton, how about the Power Rangers?
Oh, yeah. That was the Belfast Christmas lights, yeah.
What was it, Belfast? All right.
Yeah.
Oh, because Bill Clinton was too...
It was too
Yeah.
divisive. They wanted the Power Rangers.
But only the red and blue ones.
Is there a green Power Ranger?
Oh, if there is, I don't want to know.
Not in
about
their
it.
eyes.
No.
Yeah, Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
he's the bad one. But anyway,
That is
Darndale.
amazing.
Yeah.
But Darndale, 1985. Just 2 young lads. Keith Byrne, 10 years of age. Noel Murray, 13. Keith's ma tells him to go down to the shops to get potatoes for the dinner. And on the way back, he runs into his buddy Noel. I should say, it took me a while to figure it out. This is Dublin dinner time. So like...
Oh,
like lunchtime.
Yeah, because it took me ages to figure this out.
well, no, that's country dinner time. 1 in the day.
Not for us.
What do you
Back
mean?
in the day, dinner time anyway. Because
Yeah,
a lot
yeah.
of that's kind of gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because then
And
what...
tea was tea was like a meal at 5 or 6.
I'm pretty sure Fianna Fáil like ran as a slogan. It was like, we're the party of the people that have their dinner in the middle of the day. That was their whole thing when they were out of power. It's like,
I think they need that.
Real Ireland.
They need that back.
I don't understand that. I've always grown up with like breakfast, like whatever, lunch 1 or 2, huge meal at 5 or 6.
I know dinner. Like even when I was in boarding school, like it was always dinner. It wasn't lunch.
But you'd be starving by the evening.
No, you have tea. You have tea.
Yeah,
if
but
you have a bit of decorum.
But then,
no, tea wasn't a cup of tea.
No, I know it's like a small, like a supper or whatever.
Supper, yeah.
But yeah,
Have
like
that
what's that?
evening.
A sandwich? That's not.
No. Be like, and when you're a kid, it's like a potato waffle, beans and sausage.
All right, so you're having 2 dinners.
No,
You're
'cause
like hobbits.
Well, maybe.
Yeah,
My
It's
dad
the
would always
second
say,
breakfast.
dinner or no dinner, we're dining at 1. Though it's like, you're sitting down for a family meal at 1 o'clock.
Okay, we'll
I
agree
thought
to
you were
disagree.
a fucking Carlo man.
I
That's
am,
some sort
But
of...
this is the 80s. Times have changed.
See,
Yeah.
you start throwing things like that around in Carlo, you'll confuse us.
Okay.
That like tea,
I guarantee you, in
tea.
1985, dinner time in Carla was 1 p.m.
Yeah.
All right, well, look, that's my next episode. I'll do a deep dive into the history.
When was dinner?
When did dinner shift from the afternoon to the evening?
But Keith drops the spuds off to his ma. She yells not to go far because it's nearly ready. He says, "Don't worry, I won't." So they go and hop on the Dart and head off to Dunleary.
Okay.
So the Dart was already in existence 85.
Yeah, I don't know if again they'd said that this time that they'd used the Dart and other like trains to get all around Ireland, even at this age of like between like 8 and like 12, 13, that they're just going into Cork, to Galway, anywhere they want, just jump on, just call it bunking.
Because it's a bit of a walk to get to the Dart from Darndale.
Where Darndale's like northwest Dublin, is it?
Darndale's north of Coolock.
Yeah.
And it's northeast actually. It's it's north middle. It's north central.
Did you point at the map of the
there,
world?
or is Darndale?
Listen,
there.
it's on the Malahide Road.
Yeah,
Right? You go through Coolock, past like the cinema and all that stuff, and then you get to Darndale, which is clearly a traditional sort of like badly planned Irish social housing area. And then nowadays you get to Clare Hall.
Yeah.
That's when you know you're out of Darndale. Clare Hall, Tesco.
The last
bingo.
time I was in Darndale, I saw there's a big rock with the Republican proclamation on it,
Oh, really?
and someone had put that through a car window. So welcome to Darndale.
Yeah, so Darndale's like
Well, I think
hardcore.
that seems like things have gotten worse there now because here it's all innocent.
Yeah.
They're
Well,
just
it's
like,
pretty new. I guarantee if you Google when were these houses built, they weren't built that longer than 10 years.
before
Probably
that,
the
yeah.
80s. Yeah.
Yeah, because Coolock was the original. Like Coolock actually gets a bad rep, kind of because of Darndale.
that's what they say.
Yeah,
It's all
I have a
Darndale's
routine about driving out to Malahide, but people would always. I would make a joke about Coolock, and then people always like, "That's Darndale."
Yeah. That's their fault.
Yeah, it's Darndale. Because some people don't classify the two areas, but I guess they're quite separate.
Whenever I'm out of the country and I'm drunk, if someone's giving out to me, I'm like, "What are you going to do? I'm from London," and I put on my Union Jack. It just, blame the British for everything.
Oh, so you're saying Darndale?
like
Darndale are the British?
Anything, anytime Coolock gets in trouble, like that wasn't us, that was Darndale.
Yeah, Darndale.
Yeah.
I remember I was in Missouri not long after the Ferguson riots, and I was like,
That wasn't me.
but I said they were all the lads were like, that wasn't us. That was people like bussing in from other towns.
Oh,
and like,
right.
Oh yeah, sure it was. Like, no, here's the video of people just like busloads of people coming in for riots.
I
Remember
got
this-
that video.
Uh,
Conspiracy theory videos. Here's the video
Yeah.
of the buses.
That's what you deleted from that Dropbox.
Anyway, Darndale.
Yeah.
the lads
1985.
The lads head down to Dunleary for the amusements. They're like robbing a little bit of food, some coins from wishing fountains. That's how they're getting their money, and anything else from the amusements, I guess.
Yeah.
And then they see the ferry.
All right, from
And,
Dunleary.
Yeah, they've already had success on the trains not paying. They've said that they've been over to Butlins before on the ferry, over to the theme park or whatever.
Yeah.
So they say, why not? And they hop on. They end up in Holyhead in Wales.
Yeah.
Along the way, they've picked up a little bit more money. They've robbed the entire duty-free cigarette collection.
Okay, which in the 80s, I'm guessing, is pretty big.
It's really big. And they say themselves they don't smoke. It was just for the crack.
Yeah.
And then all the jewellery that they could find as well.
Really? And this is on the record?
This is, they said, this statute of limitations. That this is so for
They're
long,
also
long ago.
juniors.
Yeah.
But so in the 80s, so they're getting on to the ferry. The 80s is like, people are probably on high alert for Irish people traveling.
Yeah.
And what? They just walked on, no passport, no
Just
nothing,
walk
no
on.
ticket.
They didn't give any details on how they got on?
They said they just walked on. And then, if I guess it'll come up now in the next little bit, but it's very easy, I guess, as kids to just
they're just kids. I guess,
they basically they're kids. They hold hands, and then they say, "Our ma's right behind us," or "She's just gone in there."
Right.
So everyone's like, it's pre like the big terrorism stuff.
Not for
Ireland, no, but like for the rest of the.
The world. Yeah, things weren't so.
Sure,
you wouldn't worry about two kids.
Yeah.
But they probably should have. So the lads get over to Holyhead. Then they run into some fella, and they leave this section very bare in the documentary I was watching. They just said they run into some man who puts them up for the night, and he doesn't think to call their parents or call the cops. He just sends them on the next day. They hop on the train to London. They get to London. They're hanging around for the day, and then they're like, "Do you know what? Probably time to fly home."
Yeah.
So they
fly home.
So they go to Heathrow. And then when they get there, they realise security is a little bit tighter than Dunleary.
Than the ferry.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then they have to do the same thing of like just holding hands, saying, "Oh no, our ma's right behind us." That gets them through into the terminal, and they don't know what to do. So they're just walking up and down. Again, they're at 10 and 13.
Yeah.
So they're just asking randomers.
They're that young, right?
Yeah. So they're just asking strangers, like, "Where are you going? Where are you going? Where are you going?" Just hoping to find Dublin. And then one man says he's going to New York. And they're like, "Do you know what?
That sounds pretty good."
They're big fans of the A-Team. They're like, B.A. Baracus is their hero. So they're like, why not just
But
follow that man?
he ain't getting on no plane.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Trying to go and find the man who hates flying by flying
He ain't getting on no plane. Come on, man.
But then
It's the last place he's going to be.
So these guys get drugged so that they can get on the plane.
so they board a flight from Air India, and no one questions it. It's seemingly half full, so they think about hiding in the jacks like they would have like on trains and that when the ticket collector's coming around. But it's half empty.
But once you're on, there's no ticket collector.
No, but then I suppose they were looking around of like they were probably worried. They'd never been on a plane before. They didn't know what was going, what the deal was.
Yeah.
So,
But they're also like unaccompanied minor. Like, how are they on this plane?
exactly. But it's a half empty plane, so they're not taking up anyone's seat. So
No,
it's
I
not
know,
like,
but they're unaccompanied minors. Like when I flew to Ireland when I was 14, I had like a laminate, and like I had to wait to get off the plane.
Really?
But they took me off.
I guess
Okay.
people wouldn't. I mean, I would cite Home Alone 2, Lost in New York.
yeah.
He gets on a plane.
Or
no one
what's the-
questions it.
Does he get on a plane or does he get left behind in New York?
He gets left
no
behind.
One of them he gets on a plane because he loses his parents. He's got the
they go on a
Walkman,
different
and he
plane.
goes on a
Yeah.
different
Oh,
plane.
is that what it is?
Yeah.
I can't remember. Trump was in that.
He was, yeah.
Me ma's right behind me.
Yeah, yeah.
I want to go to New York.
But yeah, people probably aren't paying that much attention.
Did they get into the details of the plane?
So they say when they go on, it's an Air India flight. So they try to have the meal. Not a big fan of it because it's curry.
Okay.
So they're like, they've never had that before, I guess. So they're not a big fan of that. They watch James Bond movie, A View to Kill, Roger Moore.
Okay.
Yeah. And
They
then
had TV
and then they
on
fall
the
asleep.
planes.
So they might.
And the headphones used to be like almost like stethoscopes.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like a pull-down projector as well, not just like not individual ones on the.
Yeah,
I remember that. Yeah, where there was just one at the front, or like there'd be one every couple
different
of
sections.
rows.
Yeah. Forgot about that actually.
But then they fall asleep, so maybe they were drugged like BA. But then they wake up in JFK International Airport.
All right.
Now it's this
They've got
time,
a passport situation.
so they have to go through the first couple of checks. They just keep saying, "Our ma's right behind us," and
That's got a lot of explaining to do.
that's still working all the way until they get to the final security check. And then
Yeah.
the guy's like, "Well, I don't care if your ma's behind you. You can you just wait here. We're not letting you through," until he just looked the other way and then they ran under the barrier.
Wow.
Under the barrier.
Yeah. That's what
There
they
shouldn't be a barrier.
But they just leg it out, and then they say about 2 or 3 hours in the airport trying to figure out what to do or where to go.
Yeah.
Eventually they walk outside, and they're kind of unsure at this stage. It's just taxis all over. They don't really have any money. So they're just, well, do you know what? Safest thing? They walk up to a policeman and say, "How do you get into town?" Town. It's just, was it Manhattan or whatever? Yeah, Penn Station. Just send us that way. And the policeman, he kind of twigs something's up.
Yeah.
He's like,
Can you walk to town from here? What's the story?
so he says, well, he asks, where are your parents? And I think at first they say, oh no, they're in town. We're going in to meet them.
Yeah.
So he's like,
In
well,
New
that
York
can't
Street.
be right.
Yeah.
So actually at first, we'll get into it. I'll come back to the York Street thing. Do you know York Street down near Stephen's Green?
Yeah.
That's where Mannix Flynn is from.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Who's that? I don't know.
He's a politician with great
Well,
name.
politician, but he was originally actually a one-man show. He was originally a performer.
Was he?
Yeah.
Well,
Had
like
a terrible
comedy or-
childhood.
Oh, shit.
Tough, heavy childhood stuff. He did like some great shows about that. But then now he's like a community activist politician.
Yeah.
It sounds like an Edinburgh show.
Well, his stuff was heavy jelly.
Oh, yeah.
He was in the industrial schools and all that stuff.
Oh, shit.
So anyway, he's a York Street flat school.
Okay. Well, just the going up to the cop is like the opposite of, because Kilmainham Jail is around here.
Yes.
So you get a lot of tourists in this neighborhood. A lot of times you see them get onto the buses here and be like, yeah, we're going to downtown. The bus driver will charge them like $3.80 for something. The max fare is €2. I don't know where they're going. They're like, yeah, we'll bring you to... I don't even know where downtown would be in Dublin. Dame Street? Grafton Street?
Downtown, Grafton Street or O'Connell Street.
O'Connell Street, yeah. Which no one wants to go there.
You need to overcharge because you need to make up for like you lying and saying that you're in the short fare.
Yeah, I'm only going as far as Thomas Street every day.
It's because
I haven't been on the bus in a long time, so I don't even know how they're doing the...
they've made it
great.
They've made it great. It's so cheap, but even still, that it's technically $1.30 for us, and then sometimes they'll try and charge €2, and it used to be like £3.
So do you have to tap now?
Yeah,
The
you
tap,
tap on.
Tap
But it's-
the lep?
Yeah.
The LEP.
But you can use
hit
it for
the LEP.
90 minutes as much as you want. Like Lewis,
is that right?
any
Yeah.
buses, so you can get out to the airport for like £2.
Yeah. If you're willing to wait an hour and a half.
I gotta get
Because-
myself a lep.
Yeah.
It feels it's
Do you call it a leap card or a lep?
I call it a leap, but now I'm thinking I'll start calling it a LEP.
Yeah, I say, Kevin, can you
leprechaun?
pay for me? And then you'll go and
Yeah.
tap on for me. You can bring a friend on it, so it's great.
It's great for you.
But,
It's a good system.
so the policeman then calls in some backup because the lad's stories, I guess, are kind of changing. At first, they say, no, we're just going into town to meet our parents. And then they're like, no, our ma's behind us. They try that one again. And they're like, not a chance. So they, I guess, I don't know if it's partly to do with the fact that they're Irish and they would have heard about the IRA and stuff, but that they're very, like, cognizant of this. That they're like, we'll bring it straight to the police station, figure out what's going on.
Two unaccompanied children.
Children,
So they're taking it more seriously than anyone in England does.
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't try and run away.
The kids.
Yeah, when the police, like, because they've already tried running away
Yeah,
from
but where the hell are they
security.
going to run?
Yeah.
I think at this
back
stage,
into the airport.
say at this stage now, they're pretty sure they need some help.
Yeah.
I'd say at this stage, they were probably quite content to be taken in by the cops.
Well, sure.
At first, it seems like not, but then they just give them the truth, but the police don't really believe it.
Yeah, because how would you believe that they got on an Air India flight?
Yeah.
How did you get here? Yeah, we just sort of kept walking and no one stopped us.
Yeah, it
My
sounds
ma
like...
has been behind us since Dunleary.
She'll be here in a second.
Yeah, but it's like just two Dublin young lads have been like, how'd you get here? We hopped on a ferry and got to Wales, stayed with some lad, hopped on a train, got to London, went out to Heathrow, jumped on board a flight, and now we're here. We're like, yeah lads,
There's only
where
only one paedophile involved in assisting us.
Yeah. That
this-
seems like there's
in
got to
this-
be at least
in
three.
this story.
yeah, so far. But so they call up the British authorities, and so they try to figure out try to see if the story's true. They talk to Air India. They call up the Irish authorities. Eventually, they get in touch with the boy's parents, and at first, one of them, the guards go up to the door and knock and say, "No, we found your son. He's in New York." And the ma thinks he's like, York Street.
Yeah.
Like, no, very, very different. He's been gone for 2 days. He's down in Stephen's Green. No, Central Park would be closer to where he is. So it's not a tough time for him for the most part when they get to the police station. Like potato chips, soda. The lads are getting the McDonald's. They're being treated like they've never. I suppose at this time you'd speak better to this. Like there was no McDonald's in Ireland, I guess, in the mid 80s.
Well, the only McDonald's when I was in boarding school, 1990 was when I started. The only McDonald's was Stillorgan. And then I think Nut Grove Shopping Centre.
I was just going to say, because
That's the first drive-through.
First drive-through McDonald's in Europe is Nut Grove Shopping Centre.
I missed that.
So when we every now and then we'd come up to Dublin for like a match or something. The thing was like, will we be able to go to McDonald's in Stillorgan? It was like a big deal.
Well, we used to
85. I can't speak to it.
I was going to say a busload of kids driving through the McDonald's sounds like a nightmare.
Well, you're from Carlow. We always used to stop in like I think it was like Uncle Sam's Shipper after matches in Carlow.
Not the Supermax.
Oh, sorry, no, there wasn't in Carlow. It was on the way back from Carlow. We used to stop in Bunclody.
Uncle Sam's Chipper.
I think it was Uncle Sam's. Yeah.
I want the burger and fries.
I was
Uncle Sam.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I want you to make me a burger.
Because McDonald's opened in Drogheda way before Dundalk, and my cousins, much like this story, used to just hop on the bus, like unbeknownst to their parents, get the bus down to Drogheda to get McDonald's and then back up.
But I think by the time I left Wexford, I feel like the McDonald's had opened. I mean, I know where the McDonald's is in Wexford now. So I think it opened like by the time I left. I think there was a McDonald's, but I think it happened while I was there.
Yeah.
In the sort of like 92 maybe.
Yeah, we've come on a long way as a country.
But even in the mid 80s, the concept of being given like multiple crisps.
Yeah,
it's a big deal.
Like US potato chips.
Boring American potato chips by Irish standards.
Yeah.
So they're happy enough with this, and then they're there for like 7 or 8 hours, I guess, as they're going through everything with them, and they just keep giving them the same story. The police are meant to be fairly nice to them. The lads at some point cop on that they're like, hold on a second, do you have different money than us? Because we have like the punt back in Ireland. What do you have over here? They're like, we have all these US dollars, so they're putting down 1s and 5s and 10s and 20s. They're like, can we keep this? So by the time they're leaving the police station, they've got a fair chunk of money on them.
Money off the cops.
Yeah.
Wow, that'll tell you the different way races are treated.
Yeah.
Two fucking Irish kids fucking giving them money
in the 80s, and they're just giving them cash.
The next bit's how
crack epidemic.
The next bit shows you the difference. At one point, I think Keith says to him, "Is that a gun? Can I have a go off your gun?" So the cop he unloads it and hands him the gun.
No way.
And then he just turns to his friend and pulls the trigger.
Jesus.
This exact story exists with 2 Puerto Rican kids, and it does not get past
it's not
the
the same.
JFK.
So they're plate full of food.
Can I have a go off your gun?
It's the best way to ask.
Yeah.
Well, this is according to them, of course.
Yeah. But they're telling this story as like 40-year-old men as well, so it might have all changed over time.
Yeah.
But they get put up in a 5-star hotel by Air India when they're figuring out how this happened.
Oh wow,
sure.
Yeah, so the airline's paying for it. So they're assigned 5 security guards. Like private ones, I guess. So they get room service at their beck and call. They're there for a couple of days,
really,
and then they're getting bored because at first they're like TV nonstop, all the movies, all the food, it's great, and then they're like their kids who've been held up in the same room for a while. Yeah. So the security guards decide to bring them for a little trip. So they bring them down Brooklyn Bridge. Go tour the Bronx, Empire State Building. They're buying them souvenirs of all of that, like mini Empire State Buildings, the I Heart New York t-shirts.
New York.
And at some point, the lads showed the security guards all the jewellery that they've robbed from the duty free. From the boat over to England. They're like, we'll sell you this if you want.
For more of these American dollars.
Yeah, and they get more American dollars, and they're like, "Oh, what are you going to use? Like, you're going to give the jewelry to your wives?" And all the security guards are like, "Nah, man, this is for hookers."
Oh, come on, these guys are making this shit up. There's just no way.
You'd think,
you don't say that to kids.
I don't know. Maybe.
Oh, come on, man.
It was a different time.
Also, if they're in charge, like, this is going to be an international scandal, you make sure these kids stay in this room so nothing happens. And after 2 days, they're like, let's fucking go to the Bronx. Let's see the Empire State Building.
Yeah, you'd want to
dangle you off the edge.
I think it's something you want to keep an eye on them as well because they're used to running away and lying and shit. So like, I think they say at one point that they tried to handcuff them like together to keep an eye on them, but they're so small that the handcuffs just don't even work. They just slip through.
Yeah.
But things start to get a bit more serious when Air India bring them in for a question. They're like, they don't know what's going on, and they're getting a horror. Like, the news is starting to leak, and obviously their security protocol has been breached, so they're not happy. Things start heating up a little bit. A month before this happened, an Air India flight going from I think it's Toronto, somewhere in Canada, to London crashes off the coast of Cork. There's a terrorist attack from the Sikh Khalistani terrorists. And 329 people die.
Oh, the Sikh?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
So S-I-K-H.
Yeah.
But then the Khalistani. So, that's been in the news. It's like a month before this, and it's off the coast of Cork, and here's two Irish lads
right, so they're
who
sensitive.
that they think that they're like,
There's got to be holes in the security.
and that they
Terrorists are walking in and be like, yes, our mother is behind us. She will be right along.
But so that they eventually they realize that the lads are telling the truth. But I guess for a while that they think that there's some connection between these this 10 and 13-year-old and the 330 people that died like the month previous.
Yeah.
But eventually they just keep sticking to the same story. But they're not the only people that don't believe it for a while. Margaret Thatcher went on a radio show to do an interview saying that it couldn't be true because there's no way that they'd breach the security in London Heathrow.
Yeah.
You don't have the audio of that?
No. I think
Your researchers aren't
We'll
paid
get
enough.
We'll get our team on it afterwards. There's no way that London Heathrow security could be breached.
There's a mention, you can hear the audio snippet on the documentary. I think it's called Nothing to Declare. It's on the RT Real Player.
Okay.
And if you're in the States and you don't have access to that, you can check the is it the New York Post or the New Yorker, I think, have the same documentary up.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. But yeah, so
just because I think a lot of people just will be a little bit of disbelief.
Yeah. Look, it's not.
I need some evidence, man.
It's not the first unwanted Irishman that slipped through security getting them. But there's talk. Yeah, so they get home, then they get sent back on the plane. They have to take their shoes off them, just in case they think that they're going to try. They have to stop over in Shannon, and they think that they're going to try and make a run for it there again.
Okay,
just to be
it's
safe.
Like, catch me if you can.
And in fairness, the lads do admit then that they're like, no, that's exactly what we would have done, because going home would have meant going back to your parents.
And getting a bait,
and hell of a slap.
So they just land back, and I guess we can go into their history. That one of them goes to a boarding school down in Clonmel, the younger lad. So they kind of drift apart because he goes to that, and the other guy stays in Darndale. He gets kind of involved in drugs. He stays on it for a long time. But he's off him now in the documentary. So it's sad there for about 30 years, but the last 18 months of that.
Oh right, great,
pretty good.
He's in recovery.
Yeah. So the two of them meet up for the first time in years and years.
Really?
And that's what they recount the whole story together.
Oh,
so
I didn't know that's recently.
No, yeah. So it's like I think it's the documentary's like a year or two old.
Oh,
so
shit.
It's definitely worth checking out. But then because of that, and it's back in the news that there's talks of it being made into a Hollywood film. That Frank,
like Into the West on steroids.
Yeah.
But Frank Marshall, the producer, is in talks to try and make it like an actual feature. He did like the Indiana Jones movies, Empire of the Sun. He's Bunny Pit, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Benjamin Button.
All of those
movies. Yeah. So there's
it's Penny Marshall's ex-husband. She's the one that did A League of Their Own. She was half of Laverne and Shirley.
Okay.
Right. But yeah, so
big film name.
Yeah.
So he works a lot with Steven Spielberg. So there's a possibility he's doing the new Indiana Jones movie. So there's a possibility if it does get made, Steven Spielberg could be doing this story.
I don't know how you'd stretch that out to a full feature-length film, though. Also, do you reckon that me and you could play 10 and 13?
10 and 13.
Like, it's just like, imagine if Home Alone was real.
Yeah, that's true.
And they were from Darndale. Imagine if Kevin was from Darndale.
Yeah.
It's like, shove your fucking thing up your hole.
But I guess it does.
Yeah, it's just that scene where he's like, he's got the inflatable guy in the bathtub. But just be him being like, fuck off!
He wouldn't be playing the tapes of like the what did he say? The gangster. What film is that from?
Oh yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
That'd just be his own accent. He'd just be talking to him through the door himself.
Talking through the door, like, I know where your fucking man lives.
The wet bandits be outside, like, no, not chance.
He sounds change, you fucking animal.
He sounds like he's from Kulak. I'm not messing with this one.
Keep the change, you toe rag. Your pox bottle.
But yeah, no, they made it back safe. So they had their trip to New York. No charges pressed, and I guess there's been a couple, like, I'd like to think that they made some security improvements after that.
Maybe.
That's wild, man.
That is crazy. But I guess people don't really challenge kids.
Certainly not back then.
No.
To be honest, I feel like it would just be so, like, unheard of that you would just never. It's like one of those things where you just wouldn't think.
Yeah.
These two kids could. You would never think it.
Especially the people in the airport under pressure. There's just so many people coming through. Like,
with
JFK.
different accents. And,
and you see a line of people. You're like, oh, we got to get through this. So go on.
Yeah, and of course, this is before the scanning.
Yeah.
You know, this is like just show your your boarding pass.
Yeah. If you're working at an airport, you wouldn't really question two kids.
But
two kids
the one thing that I can't understand is how they were on the plane unaccompanied.
Do you reckon?
And nobody asked. Just because
it's a long
it was
flight, I
so
guess.
like just because I had the experience of being an unaccompanied minor.
Yeah.
Maybe
It was
this was
so
the start.
efficient.
because of this.
Yeah, this could have started.
Yeah, this probably might be because like it was so it was like I couldn't get off the plane unaccompanied.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
No, I had to wait. And I remember they specifically took me. I skipped the queue of like immigration, Shannon Airport, and like, you know, they stayed with me till I got my. Oh no, and actually, my cousins, because it was my cousins from Waterford that were picking me up, they were allowed to come in to the
Okay.
baggage claim. So that would normally not be.
yeah.
They'd normally be waiting for you when you get your bag and you come out.
Yeah.
They were allowed to come in to meet me there.
Damn.
Yeah.
Did you have to wear like a high-vis vest or anything? Were they...
No, but I had a big plastic laminate
Okay.
that I wore the whole flight.
What did it
Yeah.
say? Just child.
Unaccompanied minor.
Oh,
Okay.
shit.
Yeah, that's the official
Yeah.
term.
Damn. I wonder, what year would that have been?
That was 1990. It was August
Yeah.
26th. August 25th into August 26th, 1990.
It could have been
So
because of this.
5 years after this, that
Yeah.
could have been the reason.
Yeah. Well, because it does seem, you look at old hijackings, like from the 60s and 70s, they were very like, people would just walk onto a plane.
It was-
with a
yeah, I
thing of
guess it was
petrol.
easier back
It was
then.
much easier, but they seem to happen like a lot.
Yeah,
Even-
hijacking used to be a lot bigger in the 80s.
Yeah, but it took a while.
Libyan stuff. And
There was a lot of films
Yeah.
about that as well.
Yes.
Yeah, like Air Force One.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what's the famous guy who robbed the bank and then disappeared? No one ever saw him again.
I can't remember.
Oh, fuck.
Not
yeah.
famous enough.
Martin
Nothing-
McGuinness.
Oh, he's like the guy. Martin McGuinness. yeah. He robbed the bank and then like hijacked the plane, parachuted out of the plane with all the money. And
Really?
They never saw him again.
Oh, I don't know.
DB Cooper.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, DB Cooper.
Yeah.
That one. Oh, I'm not up on that one.
Oh, yeah, he's like an
it's
American.
another episode.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, he's American.
It's either one of two things. He escaped with all the money, or else he just hit a bunch of trees and died with all
Yeah,
the money,
yeah.
and they could never find him. So it's like DB Cooper's gold or his treasure,
Yeah.
like it's said to be wherever they thought he might have jumped out. So it's either that he got away and had a great life, or else people
died.
still go check
Yeah,
and
yeah.
see if they can find where it is. Because
But even if they found it, it'd be like the time was crazy money, but now it'd be like, oh, he stole $4,000. Right.
$4,000.
$4,000. 3 zeros, buddy.
I'd still take that now.
Oh, sure,
That's
yeah.
what-
So this
That-
kid
that-
was 10, so he was actually my age, just one of these kids.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, the
yeah.
younger one, yeah. And actually, a lot of it said that I kind of read it that it must be the 13-year-old influencing like the younger one. All the police officers were like, "No, it was the 10-year-old who was the one talking.
He was the crafty
He
one.
was the one doing all the
And
talking."
who went to boarding school? The 10-year-old?
the 10-year-old went to boarding school, and
Oh,
then
right.
the older guy, he had like the judge wanted to send him to a youth home because he already had priors for just robbing stuff around and getting into things.
Yeah.
But I think he escaped that at first, and then got caught for a couple of more things afterwards.
Okay.
And then actually did go to a youth home.
Yeah, he went into the system. And surprise, he's the one that ended up all fucked
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
Yeah. So it's.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that was a fun story, and that's why I guess they even in the documentary they keep it fairly light, where they leave off. They just at the very end of it, they're like, look, he's learning how to cook now, and he's like 50 something. You're like, okay, he's getting his life back together. But I guess it's such a fun story. That I can see how that would be like
51.
50, yeah. What's
He's
that?
only a couple of years older than me.
Oh, I suppose. Yeah.
Because he was 13 in 1985.
When did you learn to cook?
I'm still learning. man.
Yeah.
I was
It's a
on the
never-ending
way to
process.
learning, and then Deliveroo was created. And the need to cook disappeared from my life.
Yeah.
Well, I always thought it was.
Now I just know how to say 82.
Yeah.
Well, I thought it was tough, and then I went to Rome on holiday. I was like, oh no, cooking's easy. Just cover everything in butter.
Yeah.
And then just olive oil, and then just have
Yeah.
wine with it. You're like, oh yeah, that's yeah.
It's actually amazing.
What
I know, I
cuisine?
can cook spaghetti bolognese and a few simple things, but never a cook.
Nah. I was very against Deliveroo.
Against
principle.
Deliveroo.
Oh yeah, they like got bad practices for employment and stuff. And then I moved into a neighborhood where I could get Deliveroo, and now I don't care anymore.
I just tip, man.
Yeah.
I just hope they get those tips.
I don't know if they do.
They do. They always say thanks for the tips to me.
Okay, yeah. But I think they end up taking, if the price is the same for the restaurant, that they're taking a percentage of the restaurant's cut as well.
Yes.
Because I don't know if it's here, but I used to live in Texas. That the guy I used to live with was a chef in a Chinese restaurant, and he was always complaining about people getting like that delivery instead of maybe going through like their own delivery service.
Yeah. 'cause they
yeah,
get too much of the action.
Yeah, they're cutting out like 15 or 20%.
Yeah.
But still, Deliveroo, if you want to sponsor us.
yeah. I tip in cash.
Oh, that's good if
Which
you have
is-
cash.
that's
It's just hard to have
definitely-
cash these days.
Yeah, not if you run an illegal comedy club in the city centre. Then there's too much cash
A lot
to
of
deal
cash.
with.
Yeah, you don't have whatchamacallit.
The sum up.
Yeah,
The
but
tap
on.
of it.
yeah,
Yeah.
but still, people. I was buying I was buying some cans in Carlo not that long ago, and I went to use card, and they were like, "Oh, yeah, there's a euro charge on it." That hasn't existed since like the 90s. It was an off-license of Carlo, and they're like, "Oh yeah, it's been more for card."
It's an off-license.
Well, because they are
printing
incurring
shop.
costs when you use your card.
I don't think they are.
Not a euro. Not a full
certainly
euro.
not a euro.
But,
But
yeah.
I don't.
Well, what
think-
about a booking fee on fucking Ticketmaster?
Yeah,
the
that's
most
true.
useless fucking charge of all time.
Yeah.
As a service fee, and that's
Ridiculous.
Like, especially when they see whatever the tickets once you get to like 30 quid, that it's a sizable chunk then because it's like 35 or 40 by the time you're done.
Yeah. But that's why we don't charge ticket fees. We've got a show coming up in the Wild Duck.
If the camera can still see
It's
it.
you guys, €15. Jeez.
Yeah, including booking fee.
Including booking fee.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what we're doing.
And you got a QR code now. I tell you, man, comedy's changed.
I know, yeah.
I used to fucking physically hand out flyers on fucking Grafton Street until that became a thing, because then if your flyer was found on the ground, the litter warden could fine you.
Yeah,
we know all about it.
Yeah, because we hand out flyers for the halfpenny, and apparently,
Oh, yeah.
it's because it's very easy to find out who has, what business you need to find.
Because it's on the flyer.
It's on the flyer.
Yeah,
Oh, trust
we
me.
got landed
Yeah,
with
yeah.
like a 300.
That's why you
quid
need
flat fine.
a sandwich board guy.
Yeah.
Yes, like the Lapellos night, the strip club. That's people.
I don't use that as a reference.
We have to because most people confuse us with them.
Yeah,
They start as
You
soon
need a
as we
sandwich
finish.
board guy.
I know. We need to get the sandwich.
You need to do a deal with Lapellos. Comedy and
Just
titties.
because we switch on, switch off. As soon as we go in, they come out. It's like
Lapellos
a nice
was the first.
ecosystem.
The first one. Oh no, actually, the guy, the famous guy, was the
Peter
first one.
Stringfellow.
Yeah,
Is it?
that
Yeah.
didn't survive though.
Oh really?
Nah.
There was protests outside that.
Yeah,
Oh,
I think it
really?
was shut
That's
down.
another good. That's a good app for you
Yeah,
guys.
Yeah, I think it was shut down before I even got to college. Not that I was going to go anyway.
You're just waiting and waiting.
It's up on the north side.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Lapellos has been there a long time.
That's why you wanted to go to DCU. Like I need to be closer. I can't go to UCT.
That'd be a good episode.
Yeah.
Peter String.
We don't need this here.
Ah,
No, it's a real it's a move against it.
it's ruining
It's
the
up on like
Brazzers
Bolton
community.
Street or
Yeah.
Darnell Street. Or
But
something.
there's a few of them around now.
Is
Because we
there?
know some comedians that go.
Yeah, well, there's. Yeah,
We can't name names.
there's a. I don't know how
I
successful.
mean,
they
I've been
are,
to a
though.
few over the years. There used to be Angels on Leeson Street, I think.
Yeah,
Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's
Yeah,
up there on
yeah.
South. You can't miss it.
yeah. I was telling the tour guide. I was telling the tour this yesterday that if you go over O'Connell Bridge, so down O'Connell Street, over O'Connell Bridge, there on like the Lear Street, Westmoreland Street, there's the Dublin Wax Museum building. A taxi driver years ago told me that he had a fireman with him, and the fireman was responding to an emergency call in the wax, like up in apartments, and they broke in the door. There's a sex dungeon up there, right in the middle of the city centre, and I can't stop thinking about that every time I walk past it.
Really?
I don't know if you could call it a sex dungeon because it's upstairs, but like a sex attic or whatever. But it was just, he said it was all just like
Whips and chains.
whips and chains, padded
Wow.
leather, soundproof room,
there's-
right in the middle of the city.
There's a massage parlor very close to the Halfpenny that I didn't realize was a thing until
The one right
I-
across the door.
Well, yeah. I didn't want to.
You're talking about a happy ending, please.
I think so. So
Yeah.
yeah, I didn't want to dox them, but you can find it pretty easy. But we had a Scottish couple in the other week, and your man came up to me afterwards, and he was like, "Oh, let me tell you a joke." I'm like, "I don't want to. It's 11 o'clock. I'm finished." But then he was like, I went down in there with the wife because we thought it was going to be like a romantic thing. We'll get a couple's massage, and he said that the lady kind of started making a go for him at the end, and he was like, no. And then as they were leaving, the old lady there just started laughing and said, "Today they come with their wives. Tomorrow they come alone."
That's funny.
it's pretty
I wonder
good.
if it's true, but it's
It's like-
funny.
yeah,
it's one of the.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
very rare that you get one of these. Can I tell you
Yeah.
a joke? That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
That's funny.
But
yeah, that's it.
Oh, this was easy compared to Donovan.
I know.
Yeah,
much
yeah,
lighter. What have you got? Any shows you want to plug coming up here?
Nah, man, I'm doing the Olympia next week.
Yeah.
Pretty much sold out, but
Yeah.
I'm just here for that, and I'm filming the Angela Scanlon show tonight.
Oh, very good.
Sure, listen, just go on my website,
Yeah.
desbishop.net.
There you go.
Yes.
So go on
It
that
is.
or Instagram,
But
TikTok.
yeah. Thanks a million for coming in.
Thank you for having me, guys.
No problem.
Cheers.
All right. Good luck.
After.